Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to share a new update regarding Josh Segarra and his recent comments on the possibility of there being a Scream 7 and what his interest level is with regards to returning or not for another film in the role of Sam's love interest, Danny Brackett. So while we wait to get the official word from Spyglass as to when Scream 7 will be greenlit and whether or not Radio Silence will be attached to direct it, we can at least hear what Josh Segarra has to say while we wait. Let's go! So a couple of days ago, Entertainment Tonight posted an interview with Josh Segarra that was primarily about him returning for Season 3 of the HBO Max series, The Other Two. However, during the discussion, the subject of Scream 7 came up, and Josh had this to say. If there's a Scream 7, your boy will be back 100%. He says, adding, that relationship between Sam and Danny, I love that. However, despite not being one of the killers in Scream 6, Segarra acknowledges that fans are still suspicious of his character. He went on to say that no matter what Danny did, he was still a suspect. Even now, I've seen all those chatters where people are being like, nah, he's definitely the killer still. I'm like, can you just let my man live? He just loves Sam. He wants to be part of the core four. He just wants to be nice and protect her. So I'll just stop here and kind of dig into his comments. Number one, we see that he absolutely wants to be back 100%. Like, we know he's on board to return. And you never know with these actors in these films. I mean, sometimes especially with these other projects that are going on, you just never know what an actor's mentality is. A lot of times they do these films and they only are there one time. They never intend to return. But in this case, at least as of right now, Josh is, fully on board for returning to reprise his role. And the way honestly, he's the only survivor. As I mentioned in one of my videos just the other day, he's the only survivor of the new batch of characters. So the fact that they had him live, I think that says something on the behalf of James and Guy, the writers in Radio Silence too, that they did have him live and he didn't die. So I suspect that Guy and James probably already have plans for that character to come back in 7. Ultimately, we'll have to see, but at least we know from Josh's side that he wants to come back and he wants to reprise the role. So that's half the battle right there. And I thought it was also interesting how he mentions that, everyone thinks he's still a suspect. And, I've talked about that here on this channel, even as recent as like a couple of days ago when I posted my 4th Ghostface Suspects video. Danny Brackett is my number 2 suspect as the yet to be revealed 4th Ghostface in the film, excluding Jason and Greg. I'm not counting them. I'm talking about just in addition to the revealed 3 at the end. So he's on my list too. And I know there's a lot of people, not just myself, other content creators, other folks in the fandom, a lot of you here in the community that also are very highly suspicious of Danny Brackett still to this day as having some involvement in those murders. And he is awfully conveniently never around, except for the latter scene. Obviously, he's there. But there's a lot of attacks that go down the entire 3rd act. He's nowhere to be seen until right at the end when it's basically all over with, and he comes in to save the day with the Calgary. And yes, I said Calgary, not Calvary. Trying to do a little Canadian pun there because it was filmed in Canada. Cut me some slack. I'm not a comedian. Thought I'd throw it in there. But anyway, guys, point of it is Danny is definitely missing in action and a lot and during these murders and attacks, unaccounted for. So he's definitely, at the very least, an excellent red herring in the movie. He may not be involved. Obviously, that's very possible he's not involved, but he certainly is still a suspect in my book. And we may go on to see him revealed in Scream 7 as the other killer, the fourth Ghostface. But he goes on here to say, of course, quote, nah, he's definitely, he said, quote, you just leave my land, let my man live. There we go. He wants to be a part of the core four. He just wants to be nice and protect her. And you definitely get that feel from him. You know, very much a lot of the Derek qualities that we saw in Scream 2, right? A lot of those kind of vibes, especially when you saw like the subway scene. I love, even though it's really subtle, but I think it is a really nice gesture how whenever the Ghostface is walking closer towards the group and he just stands right in front of Sam right as they're getting close to the exit door. And just things like that, right? Those are really cool things that really shot out how much I do believe the character Danny does care about Sam, unless it is an amazing cover-up to ultimately throw suspicion off of himself. But I get those Derek qualities for sure. And certainly in the interview, he's given off, you know, all of these sentences and these statements supporting that too. You know, he's saying how much he loves that relationship with Sam and how much he loves her, and you know, his character loves her. And I also think it's interesting how he's like, even now he says, I see all the chatters. So apparently he's looking around. I wouldn't be surprised if he's keeping an eye on social media. Wouldn't be surprised if he's watching YouTube videos. Because, you know, a lot of these actors, they're keeping a pulse on what the fandom is saying. They're curious, especially with the movie doing so well. A lot of them are definitely plugged in. You know, we already know for a fact that Radio Silence has talked in the past about how they're keeping an eye on things. They do see what the fans say. They're paying attention. And I think, you know, honestly, based on what we saw in Scream 6, with some of the choices that were made, I think they proved that. I think a lot of the things we saw in that movie are things that the fandom has been talking about for a long time. So I think they, you know, not that they're trying to pander to the fans or anything, but I think they did make some choices that clearly reflect a lot of things that we've talked about, not just here on this channel, but overall in the Scream fandom and other channels. You hear it too. So I definitely believe that. And so I would not be surprised if Danny, or Josh, I should say, is in fact, you know, watching channels, watching content, keeping tabs on social media, keeping an eye on the pulse of what's going on with feedback around these theories. So we'll ultimately see what happens, guys. You know, we haven't gotten the announcement yet, but I do believe it's coming. It's just a matter of time. I really do think they're trying to get contracts ironed out with Radio Silence. And if not, they're trying to iron out contracts with a new director. That's my personal opinion. I believe once they have that in place, either with Radio Silence or if they go in a new direction and they bring in a new director, once that's done, they're going to make the announcement. That's my suspicion. So stay tuned on that front. You guys know I'll bring you the news as soon as it breaks and I'm aware of it. I will bring it to your attention right away. Well, guys, I'll leave it there for now. Just wanted to make you aware of this in case you haven't heard it or seen the article in Entertainment Tonight. But I want to know what you think about Josh's comments and his desire to return for Scream 7. Do you want to see him back? And do you think he is indeed a Derek-type character? Or do you foresee him more as a fourth Ghostface? Maybe he's covering up his true identity. I want to know what your thoughts, ideas are, and any theories you may have going into Scream 7 regarding Danny. So leave your comments below right now so we can discuss it together. Well, that's all for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Scream and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.